The African Ambassadors Group to the United States of America presents the African Year of Human Rights with emphasis on the rights of women. Co-chairs His Excellency Omar Arouna, Ambassador of the Republic of Benin, and Excellency Professor Hassana Alidou, Ambassador of the Republic of Niger.
All the country, all the embassies in Washington, D.C. are represented. Initially, we have planned for 800 people, but I think we have close to 900 now.
This is the night where we are going to look at progress made in Africa with regard to human rights and what needs to be done to continue, and particularly with a great focus on women as. I think this is the night where really we want to celebrate achievement, and we want to think about how we are going to go forward.
Africa Day 2016 marks the celebration of 22 years since the country's reintegration into the Organization of African Unity, African Union, and the international community.
The average Washingtonian doesn't get a chance to see the international community, and particularly the diplomatic corps. And a lot of these individuals represent countries across the continent. And the interesting thing is that so many of them are involved in programs here in Washington, D.C. And so I feel honored to be here to meet, and there seem to be so many new members of the Corps, so many new ambassadors here. So it's a great opportunity to network, to find out some of the programs that they're involved in, and to just, connect. I think it's very important to have this connection. And I'll just say, as chairperson of the National Newspaper Publishers Association, it is our desire to make sure that we help to get the positive stories out about Africa. Women are very powerful, and they're doing some wonderful, wonderful things and making some phenomenal contributions in their communities, in their countries, in their neighborhoods, in education, healthcare, the green economy, all of that. And so I think it's important to highlight it on one occasion. I think is very important. But I think the role of women needs to be incorporated in everything that we do, because we're true leaders and we're truly making a difference in our communities.
One of the themes today are human rights. So I want to talk about the African woman, and this means a lot to me because I hope that I can be able to reach other people and just let them know to be proud of who they are as African people. African, American, Indian, Asian, we are all God's children. So why can't we relate, Find our difference, exterminate our ignorance that is killing us, and bring flavor into this beautiful world. Thank you. Thank you.
Keynote speaker is Janetta Cole, Director, Smithsonian National Museum of African Art.
Some may find it tempting to conclude that gender equality is simply not possible on the African continent. Oh, but my sisters and my brothers all, let us find inspiration from these simple, truthful, and powerful words of President Nelson Mandela, who said, "It always seems impossible until it is done." So let us get on with getting it done. Thank you.
It's often said we came on different boats, we're in the same boat now. It's really a stretch for poetry's sake. We came on very different boats. Some came in the harbor of New York and saw tall buildings and screamed, "Give me your tide, you're poor." They read that. Others came in the hull of ships. They didn't know where they came, they didn't know where they landed, not where they were going. So we would fight to have Africa Day and to have the celebration of Africa and slavery in our country and around the Western world. These ambassadors represent a developmental stage of our struggle, moving us toward making the world more secure. France has done a great thing. President Hollande 2 weeks ago, they now declared slavery a slavery day, a day to remember in France. And they declared slavery to be a crime against humanity. All the Western countries that benefit from slavery should have a day to remember slavery and a crime against humanity. it will make us whole and make us better, because the truth will set us free.
This year is a celebration about the women empowerment in Africa. So this is a very big day for us. We know that women, they play a very big role in Africa, and that's why we are celebrating it today as the Day of the Women and the Day of African Unity.
The Africa Gala bring all the people from Africa. It's the best time when we are together to come as brothers and sisters, to state our common goals, our commonalities as African people, but also to bring all the friendships that have been in Washington and beyond. So it's an amazing occasion. Where Rwanda came from, we were almost on ground zero. We were dead as people. All our institutions had collapsed. But for the last 22 years, we have rebuilt the nation. We are doing very well, and the women are leading the way. We have 64% of our parliament is made of women, the first in the world. So we are very proud of our leadership that understands that women are the bottom line. You know, you can't develop a nation if we remove the majority of its people in the participation of its running. So we are very happy. I'm very happy to serve under this government, because they understand that women's rights is human rights. It's about social justice. And in Rwanda, we are doing it. We are setting an agenda as African nations, and it's really good because we sit together and we are looking forward to see where we'll be in 2063, where women will be fully participant, whether it's in economy, whether it's in politics, whether it's in social matters. So we are very excited. We are embarking on an amazing journey in Africa. So we are part of truly an African renaissance.
It is a very important day for us. It's on this day that the forefathers of Africa came together and established the Organization of African Unity with the sole purpose of liberating the continent of Africa. That objective has now been achieved, of course, with the exception of Western Sahara, who still has to realize their right to self-determination and independence. Now we have the African Union, who is now moving forward with this agenda of the emancipation of the continent and the further strengthening of the unity of the continent. So we are very proud to be on this day. Namibia is a beneficiary of the vision that the African leaders have put forward for the total emancipation of the continent.
We are one of the countries in Africa that has the 25th of May as Africa Day. So we hold very high the aspirations, the hopes and aspirations of the African Union, and particularly its objectives to 2063. So we are very happy today, and we are looking forward to more fruitful engagement of the African Union on the of Zimbabwe diplomacy on the African Union.
We are celebrating now a symbol and a kind of our unity. The African countries, when they came in 2004 for this African Union, after the Organization of African Unity, I think we recognized that Africa is one nation. It's not only 50-something countries. So the Sudanese are pioneer in forming the former organization of the African Union, which the Organization of African Unity. So, and after that, we are one of the first countries to recognize our new institutions with the African Union.
For us, we are not only celebrating women, we are celebrating Africa, and we are saying we hang together. We must be part of the world, we must be in the global arena, and this is one of the ways we are doing that.
Africans, we are trying to promote our dream of to be united, because we learn that if we are not together, you not achieve our goals in terms of promoting security, in terms of promoting education, in terms of development. So it's very important to be together.
For us, it's not only we are not only celebrating the Africa Day, but also we are celebrating the peace that is signed in our country. On April 26, Dr. Riek Machar returned to South Sudan, and then on the 29th of April, the government of national unity was formed. So now the unity government is working very well, and our people will be settling. There will be no more conflict. So we are very happy that we are celebrating this day with peace in South Sudan.
Liberia holds a unique place in the Organization of African Unity, which is now the African Union. In fact, the idea of an African Union started from Liberia. We hosted the first conference of independent African leaders in Liberia. It was Liberian lawyers that drafted the constitutional bylaws of the Organization of African Unity. And it was along that pattern to bring Africans together that today we're here.
Sierra Leone has progressed from Ebola in 2014 and 2015. We've put that behind us, and we are now in a state of recovery. And because of this, we want to sell it out to the entire world that we are now ready for development, both infrastructure, agriculture, and human development. That is our main aim now. 5 pillars of development: structural development in a post-Ebola country.
We're glad that the relationship between Africa at large with the United States is changing. It's very positive, and we're all excited about it.
Today is the day of the continent. This is the best continent in the world, and you have to visit it, you have to help it, and you have to support it.
For Asia, for Sri Lanka, Africa is our brother region. We have only the Indian Ocean between us. We have been connected with Africa for long years in the history. So we welcome this event, and this also cement solidarity between Asia and Africa, and Sri Lanka and Africa.
This is the opportunity to celebrate the African continent, celebrate its people, its rich heritage, and also to catch up with old friends, colleagues, ambassadors.
So exciting to have been in the presence of Reverend Jesse Jackson, Dr. Janetta Cole, and all the ambassadors and all the great luminaries who are here, who understand that Africa is the rising and shining light, and we're celebrating that.
Africa one!
We have a lot of interesting artifacts, a lot of masks and great carvings, and this is particularly the most important fabric in our society. It's called the kente cloth, and each piece is hand woven.
This lady is Vera Martins. She just arrived from Cape Verde, or from Cabo Verde, and she is the one who produced all this very beautiful handcraft. It's not very often that we are happy to have this kind of exposition, but this time it is a very good opportunity.
Somalis are nomadic people. These are, unlike some of the other tables you've probably seen, a lot of these things are still used. They're made out of wood, they're still made, handmade, and people don't, you don't keep them just for decoration.
All this is from Swaziland, handmade. Yes, by women artisans.
Kenya is a country of vibrant culture. We are so proud today to showcase these bags made of beads and some of the Kenyan fabric, which we call kikoi. And we are promoting Kenyan women who make these bags.
We use locally available, renewable materials from which we can get natural dyes. And we taught them how to prepare the material and extract the dye and to dye the fabrics.
This is our beautiful resources for tourism. So I encourage people from US come and visit Angola and do business.
I have a company called the African Memory Game. The race of knowledge on the continent is 100 questions of history, geography, culture. And as you are going, you are learning about Africa.
Everybody pay, pay, pay. Everybody pay, pay, pay. Woo! Tout le monde pay, pay.